Hey, Shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Shai Bashim Rakah Kodash. That belongs to the Apostle Nelson Millstone. Peace and blessing to you. I can push this truth throughout the four winds. As you can see, the video is entitled Elect, Chosen, etc. Just briefly want to go into understanding that this thing that we're a part of is actually through the chosen, and the chosen of a certain bloodline. I hope it's edifying. Okay, this is 1 Corinthians 1:1. It says, Paul called to be an apostle of Yahushua Mashiach through the will of the Most High, and Sosthenes, our brother. So, I went to that word called. It's pretty self-explanatory. It says, called, invited to a banquet. Okay, and if you know anything about this banquet, it's a dinner rehearsal. It's a marriage. Us being brought back to Yahushua. Okay, because the nation of Israel is referred to as a woman, a bride. Okay, it says invited by the Most High in proclamation of the gospel. Okay, you proclaim it through the truth. Okay, that we're the chosen people and we're going to be back in our righteous mind state. Everything is going to be put back into what we call normal. Okay, it says to obtain eternal salvation in the kingdom through Hamashiach. So that's what's happening. We're going to get the adoption, and things are going to be brought back into normal through Yahushua. Okay, but men are going to be selected and chosen on who actually brings forth the good news. Okay, so count it all joy that if you're doing this work in truth and sincerity, that you possibly one of the elect. Because it's like things are really, this thing is really, it's a small number. It's a very small number, but it's of a certain nation and chosen men of that certain nation. Even people just knowing these men, you're going to actually see who they really are. And it's going to mean everything, because through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahshai, you're set up to be in a position to get salvation from those men teaching you these words. Okay? But it's called, it says called. Okay, so we got called, chosen, elect, all those things tie into the same thing. Okay? Romans 11:1. It says, I say then, hath the Most High cast away his people? Most High forbid. For I am also an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. Now this is Paul. Okay, so seed, sperma, sperm, where you actually get a bloodline. Okay, you get a bloodline now. All right, so you can't just put yourself in someone else's bloodline. This is a family thing. It's a generational thing. Okay? It says the seed, the grain or kernel, which contains within itself the germ of the future plants. And these things are actually, these things, basically what they do is they generate. If you take a seed from a plant and say it's a daisy, and you plant that, it's going to be a daisy. It's the same thing because it's a seed. Okay, and a man holds seed in his body, and he's released into a woman. It's what he is. Okay, the woman just nurtures the seed, just like the ground just nurtures the seeds and bring forth what the seed truly is. It's just a host. Okay. The product of this semen, seed, children, offspring, progeny. So, family, tribe, posterity. So this is what comes from the seed. By someone trying to place themselves into being our nation and being a part of us is impossible. Okay? And here's a precept to that. This is Isaiah 43:6-3. Hearken to me, O house of Jacob, and all the remnant of the house of Israel. A house is basically a body. Now we know Jacob's name was changed to Israel. Okay. Now this was a man. And out of his loins came what? Sperm. Seed. He was the chosen. Okay. So, which are born by me from the belly. So unless someone can say that their dad is one of the tribes, they cannot put themselves in a place of getting salvation or being chosen or being called. Now they're forcing themselves to be quote unquote Christians or men of the Most High, because you have to be elected. What's crazy is you're trying to place yourself in another nation, and people of that nation are going to die because they're wicked. So how can you put yourself in that nation and saying you're going to get salvation when it's certain men and women that's in that nation and they're going to be destroyed? Okay? But you have to be carried from the womb. What goes into the womb? The stomach. Sperm from the man. And this is what Yahweh Shem Yahshua is saying. Hearken, listen to me, Israelites. And how do I know that you're Israelites? Because the sperm line of your father, when it was placed in a woman, that's what you were. We're not Moab, we're not Ammon, we're not none of these other nations, just like they're not us. But it just so happens to be that we were the called and chosen nation. Deal with it. All right? This is Psalms 50:5. Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. Saints. Faithful, kind, godly, holy one, saint, pious, kind, pious, godly, faithful ones. And we know that these faithful ones, in this sense today, would be the elect men. Okay? The elect men of the nation of Israel, those would be the saints. Okay? And they made by sacrifice. What are we sacrificing today? Ourselves. Okay? We're a living sacrifice. We're bought with a price. Okay? We're the living sacrifice. No one else can put themselves in a sacrificial position but Israelite men. And it has to be under spirit and truth. Okay, but you have to be called, chosen, or elected. Period. Okay? And saint, holy means to be set apart. Did it not call the nation of Israel peculiar people? That means to be different. We're different, okay? We're different in everything. All right? Romans 11:4. But what saith the answer of the Most High unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men of who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. Now, 7 is completion. So we have to understand that it's a certain remnant and number of men today that's going to be awake in the spirit and in truth, and they're going to be pushing forth this doctrine of truth. They're not going to fall to the system and be conformed to the ways of the world. Okay, they're going to walk in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahshua. Simple. Okay, and this is Revelation 14:4. These are they which were not defiled with women. Okay, and that's not talking about physical women. Okay, it's the mannerisms and ways of America. Okay, they are virgins. Okay, we basically when we were reborn, we fell under the laws. We kept the laws. We called on the name of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, and we done the works, and therefore we didn't go into. That's what the whole purpose of being reborn was. Okay, that old man died, and when we were risen back, like Yahweh Shai, when we were risen up and came back, we did not like the ways of the world. We did not put ourselves in the way of eating abominable foods, committing adultery, doing these things that we just weren't supposed to do, smoking, you know what I'm saying? Just all sorts of wickedness. We didn't put ourselves in that light anymore, okay? So therefore, we became virgins to this place. We weren't caught in bed with the whore, which is Babylon, and the ways. It says, these are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto to the Most High and to the Lamb. Okay? Sacrifice. And that's what we've become. Sacrifice. Okay? So, but of these men, it had to be chosen, called, or the elect. Okay? This is Romans 11. We'll go to verse 5. It says, even so then, at this present time also, there is a remnant according to the election of grace. Okay? So grace isn't even given to everyone. Grace is only given to the elect. Period. Okay? If you're not an elect person or fall under that category, you can't even receive grace. Because you had to be chosen to get grace. Election. The act of picking out, choosing, of the act of the Most High's free will, by which before the foundation of the world he decreed his blessing to certain persons. These blessings and that grace will fall on certain men. So this shows right here, it don't matter what you do. It don't matter what you do. If the Lord didn't choose you and elect you for grace and mercy and all this and understanding, you're wasting your time going to churches and doing all these things because they're done, and it's done in the wrong manner. It's no way. It is no way possible that you can force yourself into grace. I don't care if you've been going to church 70 years. If you weren't elected or called, it's not going to happen. Verse 7. It says, what then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for? So our people have a zeal, but it's not according to knowledge. So everything they're seeking for, they're not going to find because they were not elected or chosen. Okay? But the election hath obtained it. Why? Because the Lord, right here in the word election, it says, look at A. Of the act of the Most High free will, by which before the foundation of the world he decreed his blessings to certain persons. If you're not of those certain persons, you will not get grace. Okay? You're going to basically fall and trip and stumble over these things called stumbling blocks. Okay? It says, and the rest were blinded. All the rest of Israel, besides the elect, because everybody else in the world don't even matter. They don't even matter. Okay? This is about the nation of Israel. They have no part in none of this. They're blindly walking. Okay? It says, but the rest were blinded. So if you're of the nation of Israel and you're going off, it's just not for you to get. You're blinded. It says, and David said, let their table be a snare. A table is where you eat. So if you're eating off the table of, it's just a metaphor. If you're eating and you're eating at the table of the world and not the table of Israel or Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, guess what happens? It says, let the table be made a snare. So where you going and eat, religion, denomination, all those things, guess what? That's going to be your trap. The Lord is going to allow you to truly believe these things are real because you're not of the called, chosen, or elect. He's going to allow you to eat from that table of Christianity and all these false religions. Okay? He's going to allow it. And you're truly going to believe these things are real. And it's going to be a snare and a trap. What happens with the trap? Normally at the trap, death comes. Okay, because someone had to set a trap. If the trap was set for you, it's to do what? To maim you. Okay? A bear trap, to slow you up. But at the end of that, whoever set the trap, guess what? Your death comes at their hands. Ultimately, it's Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay? Because you weren't called, you wasn't chosen, and you're not of the elect. It says, and the stumbling block and a recompense unto them. So that's going to be your payback for not being chosen, for not being called. Your payback is death, because ultimately you were one of the wicked. Okay, you didn't want to follow Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You didn't want to do none of the things. You'd rather take pleasure in your religion and your ideology. Okay. Hope this is edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, by Hashem HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostle and elders, great millstone, who rule and teach well. Peace and blessing to you, Akim, pushing his truth throughout the four winds. Till next time, shalom.